Grand evening. Grand evening. Grand evening. I'm gonna try to get through this um video. I got a really bad headache, so I'm gonna try my best. So I want to give some announcements about what's happening, what's coming up for me and my husband. We're gonna be doing a class. We'll be doing a class January the 21st, 2024. This class is gonna be called First Contact. It's so much shit that we could do immediately that we don't understand or we're not familiar with or whatever. So we're gonna do a class and we're gonna teach you how to recognize the crimes in your contract. We're gonna teach you about your monthly bill when it comes to your mortgage, um, how to address it so that you can close out your mortgage. It's a lot of simple shit you could do. I'm constantly reading case law and watching court cases online, and it's like they go so fucking far when you can just file a couple of paperwork. Like it's not, you don't have to get a lawyer to do this shit. This shit is outrageous that we've been convinced that we need a lawyer to think for us. When you say, I was watching a lady give a class. Hold on one second. The lady was teaching a class about how to purchase foreclosure homes or something like that. She was in some kind of foreclosure shit, but she was saying, be careful because sometimes the the buyer is not entitled to the surplus or the overage from the sale of the foreclosure. And I thought to myself, what kind of corrupt shit that they keep on teaching you that you believe in? There is no part of a surplus or overage that is due to any fucking buyer or lender. The only thing that the lender is owed is what they say they're owed for you not paying whatever they say you paid. So at no point is there ever going to be a time legally that a lender can keep the overage of what the house sold for. That's fraud. And once y'all start understanding contract law, um, this should have started making more sense to you. Mm. So I'm doing my 15-minute quickie class. I'm at consultation, and it's going to be $60 for 15 minutes. You give me a quick rundown of your situation, and I'll tell you the best way to execute it. That's for people who cannot afford the full consultation and going over all the paperwork and the options. So I know that not everybody can afford the classes. So I do offer that 15-minute quickie. Um, and the 15-minute quickies will be the same day. So you wouldn't have to wait the 48 hours for me to schedule an appointment for you to um, get a quickie consultation. So again, a quickie consultation from me is 15 minutes for $60. You give me your case as quick as you can, as much detail as you can, and I'll tell you what I think your solution could be. Also, again, my husband and I are giving a first contact class on January the 21st, 2024, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We are digging deep. We are getting in the fucking dirt with y'all. We're gonna give y'all visuals of how we can attack the police and the sheriff to make them stop what they're doing. We have videos of that. We have videos of judges being corrupt. We have a lot of shit that we're going to show you on this in this particular Zoom class. That's why the class is so expensive, because of all of the um, research and development, trial and error that we had to go through, us being evicted, finding homes, being evicted illegally, and attacking these fraudulent judgments in the court system. So, apparently some places it's illegal to record a judge. Because it's illegal to record a judge, this is why I'm charging y'all the $500 for y'all to get access to this stuff, because you know. So you still can order a regular 60-minute consultation with me, which again is $300 for 60 minutes. Um, if you've been doing your own work and studying, I will only charge you $200 for the 60 minutes. But what I do is I've raised my price to $300 an hour, because nobody ever just fucking stays in that hour. I mean, I have clients that's taking me into 3 hours off of $200, and that's not beneficial to me. So I won't be doing that no more. Hey, Robin, how you been? So yeah, okay. So you have that, the 60-minute consultation for eviction, foreclosures, um, life insurance, and car notes, whatever. Those four is what I try to stay into that. I like to only teach what I have been successful in. There are multiple ways that we can get a remedy for all of this stuff, but I just like to know what's quick, like what I could do quick, 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 quick. I don't like long ways, going around a long way to do stuff. So again, I have a 15-minute quickie consultation for $60. I have a $300 60-minute consultation, and we have a big class coming up January the 21st, 2024, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Um, Eastern Standard Time. I'll be back on the East Coast by then. So we have that. That class is $500 and it's 2 hours long. But what we'll have you do at the end of the Zoom call, we want everybody to have their leases and their mortgage during this class, because you're gonna go over your lease and your mortgage with us. We're gonna find the crime and your way out of paying the debt. Okay, so you're gonna get a lot in that Zoom class, and plus you'll be getting education from me, the field agent, and my husband, who is the bookworm, who can tell you the laws and how to find the crimes in the contract. So you're getting two people that are heavy in this field, working every fucking day, learning this shit and executing. Oh yeah, also child support is one of the things for sure. I wanted to talk about that. Yeah, our upcoming classes and the prices. I'm also doing a temporary sale on sacred mushrooms. I'm doing an ounce for $200 and a half an ounce for $100 temporarily. We're trying to get as much of y'all to tap in as possible. That's why I lowered my prices. If you don't get your fungi from me, make sure that you trust the person you do get your plant medicine from, because there is a rise in lacing mushrooms with fentanyl. I'm not even understanding that shit. Those two don't go together at all. So I don't know what their goal is. But just be careful who you're getting your supply from. If that's the way you need to get to this information, however you need to get to this information, I need you to get there and get there quick. There's a lot of shit happening that I can't talk about on these social media. Okay. I also want to let y'all know that I know this seems hard and difficult and scary, but so did being a runaway slave, being in the Underground Railroad. All that shit was scary and hard. Doing y'all little marches, going from one city to the next to we shall overcome. All that shit was hard. None of this shit is easy. But to allow yourself to continuously be victimized and struggling, it's just not worth it. It's not. Not when you can read the fucking law. I mean, my God, if you just go to the IRS website and read the tax forms, it's like 10,000 tax forms none of us know about. And all of them tax forms can benefit us. All you fucking know about is the 1040 though, and the W-2, I guess, the 1040 and 1099, because that shit's been on the damn YouTube. But there's other things to do. And you don't have to keep on letting people convince you that you have to change your status to grow in this world. You've corrected your status the minute you address any commercial, financial, or court system where you said I am. You can't be if you fucking did, if you're not here. So that's correcting your status. It's not that difficult. That's just another way to profit off of you. You don't need to pay no 750 to do this and do that. You don't need to pay all this money for somebody to tell you, oh yeah, you. I can't get nobody to correct my status because I am my status. Whatever the fuck I say I am, I am. Today I'm Grounded Dolphin. I mean, this process takes years. I know y'all be looking at Mansa like, oh my God, Mansa doing all of this shit. But Mansa has been studying this shit for years. He had been studying for about 7 months before I started watching him. And that's when I started studying. And that's when I learned about getting the men out of jail. And I said, oh, nigga, I don't give a fuck about nothing else. See, the only reason why I've been focusing on evictions and foreclosures is because I need y'all to have a stable place to live. If you are stable in your mind and you no longer have to worry about how you're going to pay your rent or your mortgage, then you ain't got no choice but to focus on gathering your estate. Everything with me is a fucking plan for that. So I'm only trying to help y'all stay in your house so you have the mental space to study and do this work. Because you can't do this work trying to pay the bills to stay in the house. It's too difficult. I'm telling you, y'all been watching me and my husband over these few years. My husband tapped out. He completely walked away from all this shit. He was like, I'm done. Because he was able to see it from so many sides of the spectrum. Like, we know that this shit is real. We showing you this shit from your own website and you fucking telling us it's a lie. I don't think he was had the stamina to put up with the lies. So he just walked away from it. That's why I'm telling you, only the strong will be able to fucking do this. But people who are not as strong can still accomplish this if they're not worrying about where they're going to live. This is how they trap us. They keep us focused on where we're going to live, what we're going to eat, and if we can take care of our kids. This is the only way that system continues. If you no longer give a fuck about any of that, then they fall. I told you I went to the court website and I looked up writs and their forms and documents. Writs. I've told y'all several times to go to your state court website, search documents and forms, click on writs, hit writ of habeas corpus, writ of quo warranto. Read the instructions. At the bottom of the instructions, I don't know if this is every fucking state, but I'm always in the courthouse of every state in this country because I'm always researching. Because I always have clients from all over the country. On that paperwork, that document that says you could download this writ of habeas corpus, it says these writs are not advised because it will undo administration. It would be an uproar in administration and it cause a lot of problems. Why would they say to you, this is the law? You have the right to question if this fucking judge is a real judge. You have the right to be released from confinement because nobody has the authority to hold you as a prisoner of war unless you've murdered someone. That's the law. That's on their shit. So why would they say on the same motherfucking paperwork, we don't advise you to file this paperwork? Because it would disrupt administration. Y'all gotta be as curious and upset as I am for you to really get this shit. For you to want to do something with it. Why would I give a fuck if my freedom and the truth and justice will be affected negatively on the administrative side of commerce and justice? Why would I care about it? It's like, you know how they put us in slaves and shit, and then they was like, oh, please don't kill us. I'm confused. How come you want to stay alive and not be tortured and manipulated and abused? Why is that? Why don't you want to be raped and killed? Why don't you want us torturing your children and destroying them, dismembering them? Why don't you want that? You've done that to us. Why are you asking for us to not do the same in return? I know that I have to baby step everybody for what it is that I want for my life. And what I want for my life is what I'm putting out there into the world because this is my world. This is the world that I created for myself before I came down here. So if my world does not blend with your world, if your world is different than where my world is going, then go somewhere else. But for where my world is going, I only came here to save my men. It is the only purpose of my life here on this planet, aside from the original contract of being a mom. My only purpose is to get my men out of jail. That's it. But I can't do that by myself. So I have to enlist other Aboriginals to help me. The only way I can get them to do what I need them to do is to make sure that they're covered. You see, you have people, corporations organizations who don't give a fuck about you and how your situation is. Your job, the company you work for, they don't care what's going on with you. Their objective is for you to show the fuck up at work. Their objective is for you to keep paying their taxes. Their objective is for you to keep cleaning their floors and cooking for them. They don't care about what's going on. I care about your living situation. I care about my fucking men being taken out the homes and put into faggot communities and fucking interracial communities because they can't hack it. They can't deal with us. They can't deal with the reality of our culture and our people. So they check out. And sometimes they check into gay hotels and then they check into interracial hotels. Or they check into uh the mental hospital, or they check into a job, or they check into a trend. But I promise you that I am right about this. If we do not have the burden of fucking providing for our families, we are the fucking problem. Your job, your schooling, your extracurricular activities, your Netflixing and chilling, all of that is targeted to keep you away from your power. So I'm trying to ease y'all into your power real slowly because you can't take it all at once. It's like a girl with a little coochie trying to take the dick. You got to ease it in little by little. And the one thing I know that y'all understand is eviction and getting locked up on a charge. Y'all can understand that. So if I can just stay in that one small ass space of shelter and freedom, then all the other pieces will fall into place. So I want you to understand that this is not just dedicated to foreclosure. Your fucking lease to your apartment or your lease to your house, whatever, all of those have remedies in it so you don't have to pay legally. You have already paid for all of this shit. You got to stand on your ground. That judge told me in court, all of this shit you're talking about, we don't do that in this court. We only follow policies and statutes. That judge said to my face that she was committing a fraud against me. And I challenged her on it. And I said, you can do what you think is best, but my attack on you in the courtroom and your court system will be swift and sharp. She ruled against me in the courtroom. By the time we went downstairs, she never put the court order in. 30 days later, she never put it in. If you only follow policies and statutes and you call me a fucking terrorist in the courtroom and say you're not going to do what I'm telling you, why the fuck did you do what I told you? It's the simple power that you will be reclaiming back by just opening your fucking mouth and asking questions. I watched the judge work with the plaintiff's lawyer, and I called her out on that. I said, it seems like we having a conflict of interest here. It seems like the two of you know each other, but y'all won't even say that part. Something so small as to challenge their subject matter, their fucking jurisdiction, challenge their authority. If you're not willing to do something as small as that, you're in the wrong place. I'm gonna need you to go back to work and fulfill your obligations to your masters. I am the master of me. So if I am the master of me, There's no one outside of me that can control me. My parents learned that very young. At a very young age, my parents learned you will never be able to control me, ever. I moved out of my parents' home at 15 years old. I cannot be controlled because I fucking remember. And if you don't remember who you are, anybody can make you, form you, mold you, groom you. I can't be grown. I can't be molded. I can't be built. Many have tried. I am that which I say I am. That means I don't give a fuck what you say I am. You ain't got to like my mouth, my teeth out my mouth, the way I talk, my tone, the way I look, the way I smell when I fart. You ain't got to like the way I fuck. I don't give a shit about none of that. My mom hate the fact that I'm into witchcraft. She talk about me to my family. I don't give a fuck about that. I don't give a fuck about nothing but getting my motherfucking men out of jail. And me being a certain way, looking a certain way, talking a certain way, acting a certain way, that shit ain't gonna help me get them out of jail. So unless you could bring something to me, to my table that will help me enhance myself so I can get my men out of jail, that's the only information I'll take from anybody. I just wanted to make that crystal fucking clear that my only mission on this planet is to release my prisoners from fucking war. I am comfortable with doing that shit one nigga at a time. Since it's too many people scared to stand the fuck up. I was sitting there thinking about Jay-Z. Jay-Z said to on one of his music raps or whatever, he was saying how they was talking about him and Meek was beefing. And he said, I stopped Meek from a bid. We can't never beef. And I was just wondering if Jay-Z has all this money. He know all this. Yet he don't know nothing about accepting the fucking debt. Paying for it with a tax form. He don't know. He had lawyers. So you talking about the top tier of niggas, the billionaire of us, who's doing all this work for us. But he's making his life hard doing that shit that way. It's an easier way to do this shit. Every single time my son got locked up, I got his ass out of jail. For every time they tried to put my son away for 4 years, I got him to walk out of the courtroom with me. He's always had a public defender. I have overridden every public defender he's had. So much so that they started talking to each other about me, trying to stop me from working my son's case. The last time my son was in court, the judge manipulated my son into saying something that he wasn't saying. And I almost went and choked that bitch out. It was a brother, a young man, had to be about 22 years old in the courtroom sitting next to me with his woman. He grabbed my arm when I got up and he said no. And he held my fucking hand until I calmed down because he knew it was about to happen. Bitch, you just convinced my son to lie about something that he did not do in court. I'm going to take you out in front of everybody in this bitch. I was not fucking thinking about nothing, but that bitch lied. And she tried to convince my son to do it. So I had to go over that whole head. I went over that bitch head in her own courtroom. And I made that shit work for me. And my son walked away. He walked away. I walked away from attempted murder. I've got my son to walk away from all his shit. This is not a lie. This is not propaganda. This is me doing the fucking work. I have been a fucking private investigator since 2002. 2002. I got my education from Georgia Tech. Gwinnett Tech, I'm sorry. And then I took the education I got from private investigating all over the country. Once I started working all over the country with police, with law enforcement, with my private investigation license, I expanded my reach and I started working with law enforcement in other countries. Everything I say can be searched and verified. My entire life has been dedicated to the law, to justice, justice of my people. I remember what it smelled like and what it felt like when I got whipped by those motherfucking whips. I remember what that tar smelled like when they fucking hung me in that tree. When I tell y'all I have my memories intact, I have them intact, and that's why I act the way I act. Okay? So I'm gonna teach y'all for as long as I feel like teaching y'all, but I'm gonna make sure that y'all have a stable roof over y'all head so that when we go to war for these motherfucking men in jail and these women in jail of ours, there's nothing they can do to stop us. They can't stop us from meeting with each other, and they can't threaten our security. So if you need help, get at me. If you need medicine, get at me. If you want to learn how to start a war, get at me. If you ready, get at me. Just know 100%, 100%, I am here to release every prisoner of war of my tribe. And there's a sigil on me for every last one of y'all that tries to end my life, that 3 of your beloveds will perish. Don't fuck with me, and I will not fuck with your bloodline.